Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Slant Walk Sports Podcast. I'm Zach Green,
I'm Kethan Babu.
and we have a lot to talk about today. The RedHawks are soaring on all fronts. Football, it's going crazy in the MAC. Miami hockey is their best start since 07-08. Basketball starting soon. I think it's a good time to be a Redhawk.
It's a great time, not even to mention volleyball, field hockey are getting to the close. Soccer just clinched their MAC championship. It's a great weekend to be a Miami fan. This is probably my first year where every sport is firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we can dive right into it with football if you want to start it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk about that Western Michigan game. And I'll tell you what, I was nervous. And I was going into that game saying we not necessarily struggled, but we didn't play our greatest against Akron. We didn't play our greatest against NIU. And we played solid against Eastern Michigan, but we still had mistakes there. So I would not saying that those teams are bad in the MAC, but then you have Western Michigan, who's undefeated in the MAC. I was nervous going in, but I think it's kind of the tale of the season is our second half offense is unstoppable. I mean, I don't know what they do in the locker room at halftime to get them to come out firing like that, but they dominated that, especially the fourth quarter. I mean, what was it? It was 17-0 as the scoring run in the fourth quarter. It's incredible.
Yeah, so it was a crazy game. This is my first game watching as a fan, so I really saw the football team just not the whole experience, and it was great. It was the first half was a little just knocking out field goals. They had good drives that kind of stalled out towards the red zone, but come back. Dom Zobin had the field goals ended up winning us the game.
Absolutely. I mean, in that he carried us. He had 4 field goals three field goals in the first half. That's the only reason we kept it within 2 scores.
Yeah.
And that was a struggle of seeing that we can get into the red zone pretty easily. We had a couple incredible drives where we were able to get within 20, and then we just can't close. And that second half offense, they turned it around, and that defense especially, holding them to 3 points in the third and then 0 in the fourth.
Yeah, and we'll dive right into Daquan Finn. He had a great game. 18 for, I meant to say 30. Sorry, not 18 for 20.
That would have been one of the better. Yeah.
260 passing yards, passing touchdown, 11 carries for 52 yards, and a rushing TD. And I definitely want to highlight the 11 carries for 52 yards. I mean, he had 2 clutch runs, one being on that the last drive before we got the last touchdown. It was 3rd and 10. We were on our own 12, and he scrambled out and got it. Which I wouldn't say if we punted there. I don't know how the outcome of the game would have looked.
It was a much needed first down.
Yeah, and then he capped the drive with the rushing touchdown from 20 yards out, which was, he didn't walk into the end zone, but he had a great hole.
He didn't have a whole lot of people on him. I don't know, like you said, you were watching it from the stands. I don't know what the crowd reaction was, but up in the press box, I was sitting there like, why is he taking off running on 3rd and 10? That was 3rd and 10 from our own 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I see him take off running. And I'm like, oh, what is he doing? And I don't know ball because he got it. He kept the drive going. And then, like you said, he got that 20-yard rushing touchdown later on. And this, I don't know, stat-wise, I don't believe this was his best game. It's probably his 2nd or 3rd as far as yardage and touchdowns. This felt like his best game just mentally. Like, he felt like he wasn't hesitant. He wasn't hesitant. He was confident in himself in those passes. He took off on those runs, but he also found Cam Perry twice for 2 big passes. And he's finally getting to that point. I wouldn't say finally. He's getting to that point of improving game by game, and now he's at a point where our team is going to be one of the better offenses in the conference.
Yeah, and talk about Cam Perry, 4 catches for 98 yards.
It's so unbelievable.
And with that, he is 2nd in the MAC with receiving yards of 612. So, with these big games coming up, and these weapons are really starting to show out. Along with that, Cole Weaver really finding his groove. 9 catches for 96 yards, and these were just lousy catches. Every catch he had was tough. He fought for that. It
was a contested.
He had really strong hands. There was people sitting behind me, and I don't know, no disrespect to Cole Weaver, but he's like, yeah, he's gonna be really, really good in the NFL. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, they were like, he Yeah, I think this was Weaver's best game of the season. Probably the most targets he's had in a game thus
Yeah.
far. But I was really impressed with him. I feel like he was a good safety blanket for Finn.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like if Perry's going to go downfield, I know he had those two big passes. He was going downfield probably every other play, and Finch wasn't able to get it to him, or there was he blocked it or something like that. Cam Perry going down the field and then Cole Weaver as just a check down or just a real quick get a couple yards is an incredible combination. I remember before the season, I thought we were going to get our transfer players more involved, and I think they are. Deion Colsey, Keith Reynolds are getting touches, but it's nice to see some of the guys that have been here for a while that are still staying involved.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, on the run game too, Jordan Brunson 13 rushes for 90 yards. He had that big one. I think it was like 46. He broke by the left field or the left side of the field. That was in I forget what quarter that was.
I think it was second.
I think it was the first half. But that was a great run to cap off his impressive day. And all over the offense, I feel like it was an efficient day. No turnovers, which I think is a big the turnover battle, I should say, which goes into the defense. Starting with Corbin Hondrew, 7 tackles, tackle and a half for loss, a sack, and a pass defended. I mean, this defense really, really got home in the fourth quarter, and I feel like we have to give respect to Brock Lowry. I mean, he had a game.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, it was a tough Western Michigan offense going in. We knew that. It just shows how good our defense is now. You mentioned Corbin Hondrew, but even Adam Trick, he's one of the best pass rushers in the country right now. He once again had a great game. Was he the one? I believe he tackled Lowry in the fourth quarter for the fumble.
He sealed it. He got the strip sack.
That's I mean, like you said, we won the turnover battle, but there just weren't that many turnovers except for punts in general. So I don't think that was because our defense was particularly bad. I think Western Michigan's offense is just that good in the conference right now. But it is good. It is nice to see just punch back and forth every once in a while. Sometimes you don't want to have to go through fumbles and interceptions, at least for our side. It's good to see if our defense does it, but I'm okay if our offense doesn't give up those turnovers like that.
Yeah. And I mean, talking about Brock Lowry, so the more I watch this Western Michigan team, the more I I was able to kind of see their identity. So what they want to do with him is they want to they kept him in the option game with always a lateral option rolling out. You could see he had 20 registered carries, which is insane for a quarterback. I mean, especially with a defense like ours, when you're getting hit a lot, that's more than Jordan Brunson had. That's almost double. But they like the option game, and then to set that up, the rollout pass where they can let him use his legs or look for like a check down, and that's when we saw when they had on their touchdown drive in the first half, when they got 2 big passes off, they're able to stretch our defense back. But I mean, Brock Lowry is tough. But the one part about it, I knew second, third quarter, if we could get him into passing downs, I knew this defensive line would eat, because if you were watching in the first half, I mean, on a decent amount of his passes, regardless of incomplete, complete, whatever, he was getting mauled. I mean, on his touchdown pass, if you watch right after he gets the basket off, I mean, he's like up here and then he just looks like he folds. I mean, he got leveled from down below. I mean, they were getting hit, and then the fourth quarter, I think it was a possession before the strip sack. I think they punted. We had I forget what down it was, but he got a pass off, and there was a second away from getting a strip sack or just getting absolutely mauled. And then the next possession they came back, and Adam Trick got home again. So yeah, once they got into their passing downs and they got him uncomfortable, this D line ate.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, Brock Lowry, he had a great first half. I remember there was that one pass, I forget how many yards it was, but it was way down the field. I think it was their first possession of the game. And early on, like I said, I was nervous, man. I saw that after we punted, and I was like, this is going to be one of those games, right? I think that a big thing that our team needs to focus on is special teams. They had that 172-yard punt return. We can't let things like that happen. They had another punt return in the third quarter. It was 40 yards, give or take, and that's going to give them good field position. And I know our defense can get the job done, but let's make their job a little easier, because you can't give up that much yardage and expect them to close it out if they're already in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, this was, I think, a complete game. I think the whole team should be happy. And with this win, they took sole possession of number one in the MAC standings. Buffalo lost. I forget who they played.
I think they played Akron.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, Ohio almost lost too. They were playing Eastern Michigan, and
that's right. They were down 14 at one point.
They were. I mean, I think they won 28-21. They were like it. I mean, they won, but it wasn't.
It wasn't a solid win.
Like if the MAC standings were based on the voting, they would not be. It would have been a significant. It would have hurt them significantly because it was not a good showing from a team that just that won the championship last year.
Oh yeah, it's a similar, maybe not the exact same tale to last season where we enter not our conference play at 1-3, and then we lose our first conference game, and all of a sudden everyone's like the season's over. Chuck Martin, you need to move on, but we go on that win streak. That's the era we're in right now. We're on that win streak. I would like a different conclusion to that story, obviously, but I think the way that we won against Western Michigan, where it was a tough first half, but if you just watch the second half, you think that we dominated the whole game. You wouldn't imagine what happened in the first half to have actually happened. It was a solid win for us. I think going on the road against Ohio, we have a good chance now. A couple weeks ago, it was hairy, where Ohio was playing solid, maybe not as good as last season, but they were certainly playing better than us. And having this good win, I know Chuck Martin doesn't believe in momentum, but I believe that a win like this is going to carry into midweek action. They're going Tuesday night. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a cold game on the road. This is a good weekend for us overall.
Yeah. We can see the rest of the schedule here: Ohio, Toledo, Buffalo, and Ball State. So I think if you can get over, the Ohio hump, but if you can get over that, we'll be 6-3. Toledo, it'll be a good game. Wednesday night action. But then I think great momentum into Buffalo, who is very. I mean, they were 3-0 in the MAC going into this week, and then Ball State. So I think the momentum's a great thing right now, especially if we get over OU. We got blown out by them last time we played. So I think it's a mental game with that. I think this team's definitely good enough, and they have the pieces, and they've gotten to the point where they could easily beat them. I also think they could easily lose. You could see sloppy mistakes, turnovers. I mean, we talked about it last week. The penalty game. I think we had one penalty. It was like a pass interference or something on the. It was like
we had one penalty and the whole game. It was complete turnaround.
I don't think you could write like a better this Western Michigan game. I think went perfectly. It was clean, no turnovers. Offense played well. Defense showed up when they had to, especially in the second half. And you got Finn more comfortable. It was a perfect game, and it kind of showed people that we're legit, which we are, because Western Michigan 3-0, great defense, in the MAC coming in easy, like took them out. I think that's perfect for this team, and then right going into Ohio, and at Ohio too. I wish this game was home. If it was home on I wish it was like a Saturday game. That would be so. People would show out for that.
I agree. It feels weird that we don't have a game to cover tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking like, oh, Saturday's gonna be busy again, and I'm thinking I actually don't have anything to do, which is incredible. There's still hockey, there's still basketball coming up, but I'm ready for those Tuesday night games. I'm gonna be driving to OU, so I'm excited for that.
Is that this coming Tuesday or the Tuesday after?
This coming November 4th.
Tuesday, yeah. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. So we're technically gonna bye this week, right?
Yes, because we haven't played in more than a week. So I think I don't know if they count as a bye, but it essentially is. Yeah.
Yeah, because the next Saturday if we don't play them, it's weird how it all works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on from football, we can go into I'd say hockey,
Oh,
who's just
please.
just
Yes.
just as hot, not even hotter. The RedHawks start the season 6-0.
And they're unranked. And that's the storyline right now is that they are 6-0. They're the only undefeated team, undefeated collegiate team in hockey right now. And we're not even ranked, which I'm not going to act like I know how the hockey rankings work because I don't. But that seems a little absurd that we're not even in the top 20. But that's okay.
Yeah, I was looking at the rankings a couple of days ago. Where was it? Here it is. And they're Cornell,
Mm-hmm.
who's
They haven't played
20.
a game, right?
They haven't played a game, and
Yeah.
I don't under. I mean, this is the RedHawks' best start to the season since 07-08.
Mm-hmm.
We're 6-0. We have 41 votes to make it. We're second behind Northeastern. We're 77. So obviously, if Northeastern's getting 77 and Cornell hasn't played a game, I mean Minnesota's 2-5-1. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But I think this team wants to get ranked, and I think they will get ranked. Puck drop tonight at 7:05 and 6:05 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Against a tough team
Again,
is the storyline right now. Arizona State. I think this is the start of NCHC play, correct? This is, yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. This is a tough team. You look at Arizona State's record, they're 2-4 right now. They don't look like on paper they should look great. But I know that this is a tough game for Miami because the opening conference play. So you almost have to forget about your first 6 games. And they have a stacked roster. I think because it's Halloween, I see us walking away at least with 1 win here. I don't think we go 2-0, or I don't think we go 0-2 rather. And I almost don't want to put too much expectations on the team to go 8-0 because then I feel like I'd be devastated by it. You know what I mean? But I very easily see us getting at least 1 win. I would not be surprised at all if we get the 2 because it's a home game because our team is have that momentum right now. I just don't know. I don't think I know enough about hockey to have those expectations and then stick to them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at our opponents coming up, it only gets harder. Western Michigan, I think they win it all last year.
They won the national championship last year.
So I mean it, but you know what?
Although they lost to Fair State earlier this year, and we beat Fair State, so by transitive property.
I'll say I rather I want to play them. I want because this team. Ryan Smith named NCHC Forward of the Week. Like this team has the players. There's obviously a different culture in the locker room. Anthony Marine, he's done a great job. Obviously, a great class. Ilya Morozov, what is it, like 7? Is that the 17-year-old?
He's 17 years old, and I think he's top 10 at least, or top 20 at least in the country.
Yeah, I think like this school's really excited about it, but some people are kind of in shock. Like, because some people like you're a senior who they were good a couple years ago, but you also like when people apply to Miami, big hockey school, brotherhood, like all that stuff. But now it's actually like coming alive. After they were 3-28, like they were really bad last year, like really bad.
It's just such a sharp turnaround where you win 3 games last season, and your last win, it's not even like you win 3 games and they're spread evenly. Your last win is in October or November of last season. You don't win at all in the winter. And then now you're 6-0, and there really doesn't look like a sign of stopping you. Like you said, Western Michigan is probably our toughest matchup. But I don't know. And I'm looking at the stats now because I wanted to confirm. I didn't know this. We have 4 players in the top 25 for goals right now. Or points per game, rather. It is incredible to see that it's just not one player that's carrying the team. It's the culture. It's the roster as a whole that is putting the work like that.
Yeah, I won't be there tonight. I'll be there tomorrow night. I'm really excited. I mean, they're just a new energy. They have. I mean, we have. It's so refreshing. It's just fun. And looking back at last week, pulling it out again.
That's right. These aren't easy games at all.
They won 5-4 back-to-back nights in Michigan away, which is, I mean, back-to-back nights away is something hard to do in itself. winning again hard, and then both in overtime in high scoring games. I mean, that's like that's grit. And I think that this encapsulates what this team's about. These are, I keep saying this to my friends, they're winning the games that they would have just been grateful to be in. Like I told one of my friends, I said, getting to overtime last year, like that was a win.
Right.
Like if we could survive regular time and just get to overtime and have a chance there, we already won. Like that was a win. That was a moral win. Like, but now they're doing that, and they're consistently winning them. They've been in 3 overtime, or has it been 3 or 4?
2. I think it was 2 overtimes.
Well, they had one. I think they had one for the.
Oh, you're talking about last season?
This season. No, these are the both overtimes. Okay, so we're 2-0 in overtime. We've won them consistently. It's just fun.
You're right. Last year we would have been lucky to get to overtime.
We would have been. There was a game. I forget what game it was. We were up like 3-1 with like 10 or 8 minutes left in the third period.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
and we lost, and not in overtime, in regular time, and. I feel like when we were up like last year, it was like just don't lose, and then they just gave it up. But it's a different vibe this year. Like if they were up 3-1 with 8 minutes tonight, I wouldn't be worried.
Yeah,
like that's just, I don't know if you want to talk about.
Yeah, they have. I'm just looking at their schedule now. They have 3 more series. They have this Arizona State one. Oh, I'm blanking on his name. We had a player at Miami that transferred to Arizona State, and there's obviously a storyline there, but I think the storyline here is just continue the winning streak. I think if they go 2-0 this weekend, they do get that national ranking. I can't see why they would not.
Yeah, if they go 8-0, there's
they have
no
to.
way.
They have to. Again, these aren't tough competitions. They played Ferris State. Ferris State just beat Western Michigan. They played, was it Lindenwood? They beat, I think they went 1-1 against Boston, I want to say. Boston's top 5 in the country. These aren't easy games, and I don't think any of these are on the schedule. If you look at it, they have Arizona State this weekend. You have Western Michigan on the road a couple weekends from now. St. Cloud State here. Then they go to Ireland. So if they keep this winning streak alive, again, I said at the beginning of the year that every sports team this season is good enough to make it to their postseason conference, whether it's the MAC or the ECHC or swimming's MVC. I was hesitant about hockey, and I'm not hesitant anymore. I think that we do make a postseason. And maybe that's too high of expectations this early in the season, but our roster is just so stacked. That culture, I don't know what they did in the offseason to change.
Yeah.
And, maybe it's just a whole new roster and that they brought in that many new players, but oh my.
And, with the team being good, it's just good for Miami in itself because, they market the hockey team, and now they actually have, when all these tours are coming around in the fall.
We're a hockey school again.
Yeah,
that's what we were for a while.
You walk by Goggin, you're not ashamed to say, we play hockey here. Like, last year, how are you going to market a team that was 3-20? Like, you can't really, say
you can't.
Yeah. They sucked. But now, you walk around and we're 6-0. And if we're nationally ranked, like that's only going to draw, like it pulls at every string, when these teams are good. It just helps all around. And I'm not trying to get like corporate or anything, but I know, the admin, I know that, I'm sure they've seen a spike, when teams are good. I'm sure there's trend lines. But it's just a good pull. If we're 8-0 and say we're 20th in the country, like how are you going to disagree with that?
Oh, you got to put that in all the marketing. You got to put that in all the advertisements. Absolutely. This might be a nice segue if you want to talk about basketball. It's similar to how men's basketball was last year, where year before they didn't necessarily stink, but they weren't that great. They were probably average. And then all of a sudden they have their best start to a season since, 1998 and 99. And I said this before, even when football when football just started. Me, I'm a big football guy. I was more excited for men's basketball season to start. I'm like really excited now for Monday to come around.
I'm excited. I'll be there. I'm working that game. So it'll be. I want to see this new guy. I want to see Trey Perry. I want to see all of them I want to go up, and I want to see them get minutes. I want to see.
And I think they will. I think Travis Steele is a big believer in just having that wide bench. You know what I mean? Or that deep bench rather, where he can sub in any guys. You look at that roster. There's not any guys where I wouldn't be uncomfortable having them start really, but definitely not just get in and get some minutes.
It's a great time to be a Red Hawk. And then looking at just skimming over to soccer real quick, number 2 seed in the MAC, and then they play the winner of the Bowling Green State and Buffalo game, and they've been rolling. I think they locked up the seed a couple days, or a couple games ago. They locked a MAC tournament spot.
Yeah.
But let's look at their schedule real quick. They're 11-5-2, 8-2-2 in the MAC. They've won 4 in a row, which is, you can't get much better than that when you're going to the MAC tournament.
And they tied 2 games before that, and then they won. Was it 1, 2, 3? They won 3 games, tied 2, and then had that winning streak that they're on right now.
Yeah,
they haven't lost.
And before those ties, they were on a 3-game winning streak. So they haven't lost. So they technically haven't lost since
September 21st
versus Buffalo. So that'll be a good Buffalo beats Bowling Green. That'll be a good matchup. But having not lost since over a month and a week or two. That's a pretty good point.
It almost seems like a sneaky turnaround. And I'll admit, I didn't cover the soccer team that in depth last season, but I know that they weren't this good. And again, maybe that's just the storyline of every team that we have right now. Because, they were 8-5-6 last season, 4-3-4 in the conference. I want to see if they made it to the postseason. They lost in the first round of the MAC tournament. So it's a sneaky turnaround. And again, I don't know if they brought in that many new players, but I'm just glad that we're a sports school again. You have soccer going to the MAC tournament as one of the best teams in the conference. You have field hockey still dominating. There's MAC tournament starts, I think, this upcoming Wednesday. It's volleyball. Volleyball's doing a hell of a lot better than last season, at least. It's incredible to see, man. It's like you said, you couldn't have said it better. It's an exciting time to be a Red Hawk.
Yeah, and then looking at volleyball too, 11-13 in the season, which is a big improvement from last year. They're 5-7 in the conference. They're on a 2-game skid at Toledo and Ball State, but looking to rebound tonight at Millett Hall versus Bowling Green at 6:30. Mm-hmm. And I will say on the athletic front that Miami's done a great job in the athletics department of marketing all these big weekends because when you have all these games, you have hockey going on now, you got volleyball, you got football on Saturdays. You did. You'll have basketball starting soon. It's hard to when you want all these students at events, it's hard to have all of them going on and then try to get big pull to each game. But they've done a great job, I think, of doing all these giveaways, try to entice. And I will say for hockey, they don't need to advertise it much because people the
record speaks for itself.
People are gonna. I think even though it's Halloween, I think it's and Goggins usually a good turnout. With you always have the mix of students, you always have the mix of people that live in Oxford. The kids that always go. But I think with the record speaks for itself. It's not going to be hard to market it. And there's only this semester. There's only I was looking at how many more home. I think there's only 3 more homestands, including today. Is that true
for hockey?
Yeah, and this
they have one more season. I think it's St. Cloud State.
Yeah, they have. So we have this series, 21st.
It is. Yep.
And and then
they go to the Friendship Four in Ireland, and then they're on the.
Well, technically they have one. They are Colorado College, but that's at the end of finals week, so it probably won't.
Oh, December 12th. That's like everyone will be gone by then.
Yeah, I'll be here for that weekend, so I may stay. I'll probably go to one of those games, depending on But and then looking at next semester, let's see what. Oh, Western Michigan comes back February. Oh, well, we go to them. They come here February 6th. That'll be a fun one.
That'll be right after students come back. Is that the first or second week that students come back?
Yeah. Minnesota Duluth, February 20th and 21st, and then that's the last homestand, and then they play Omaha away, and then it's the NCHC playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Um, when you have a turnaround like this in any team, especially for a not smaller sports school, but a smaller conference like the MAC, it's exciting, and it feels like it gets everyone involved. When you have a conference like the Big Ten or SEC, and you have a smaller school in that conference, start to turn around. It's fun, but it feels like the MAC is more like a community hands-on kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just like
No, I get it. It's very neighborly. Obviously you have your
yeah,
Buffaloes and you have your UMass, but everyone else is within driving distance of each other. It's very much a regional conference, and I know that all conferences are supposed to be regional, but you look at the Big Ten, they're adding teams like Oregon, adding teams that aren't in the Midwest. So it's very much a neighborly thing where you want to win, not just because they're an in-conference rival, but because they're 2 hours away from you, 3 hours away from you. You don't want them to have that bragging rights when they're in the same state as you.
Yeah. And then it all roads lead back to the MAC. You just gotta love. I mean, some of the things you just can't believe, but then you just know it's like, I don't know. It's so fun. Some of these games, they're like I know myself for the MAC tournament for basketball. I want to go this year. I'm definitely going.
You should.
Yeah.
I went last year and it was a good time up until I don't know, about the last 30 seconds of game 3, but it was a good time. And going back to men's basketball, we had a hell of a season last year. I think we do better this year, record wise.
Yeah.
I honestly, and again, this may be high expectations, I think we have a good chance of going undefeated in non-conference play. If you look at our non-conference schedule, we have Eastern Kentucky and we have Wright State as 2 tough teams that might give us a run for our money. Every other team, I would give the hand to the RedHawks personally. We very much could go, I don't know, is it 10-0 in conference play or non-conference play?
I think 10th or 11th in mid-major preseason rankings.
As we should be, absolutely.
Yes. I think last year we made it to their weekly power rankings. We made it to I think around 10 or 11, mid 10s.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting the respect that we rightfully deserve. When you look at this team that obviously we've talked about in the past, you go over again the players that we've lost. But I think it all, no matter who we have in the locker room, it's the culture that Travis Steele has built. And these guys that have been here for a couple of years, Evan Apsaro, that can help. I'm hoping it translates every year. And this year, like you said, grow, get better, and do even better than last year. Which last year was a amazing year. There was some games last year that were just packed. I've said this
Penn
before.
State was probably my favorite one.
The games when they had to bring back the tarps on the sheets, that's great.
As a Miami fan, as someone that's been here for a while, I'm just looking back at it, is incredible to see. And I think, we talk about how the team's improving and how it's only going better from here. That's the exact same tale with the women's basketball team. I know we haven't talked about that yet. They opened their season as well on Monday, against Coastal Carolina. I don't know if they'll go undefeated in non-conference play, but I see us having above a 500 record going into MAC play. We struggled in MAC play last season compared to the men's team. It's not apples to oranges, obviously, but Coach Boxy's entering year 3 here at Miami, and now he's hitting his groove. He hit his groove last season, and now he's taking another step up. You're bringing in players like Amber Scalia, I believe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. She's going to be one of our best scorers. I just know it deep down. We bring back players like Amber Treader. Our transfer portal this season for women's basketball was insane. And maybe I kept track of it, but I kind of lost track of it for a month there. And now all of a sudden, half our roster is brand new.
Yeah. Amber Scalia, senior from Stillwater, Minnesota. And then we have, like we talked about, Amber Treader, who, got a double-double basically every game last year.
Yeah.
So, Well, what makes us say that that won't continue?
Absolutely. I 100% see it continuing.
Yeah. Um, it's so exciting. Um, this is a perfect time to be a Red Hawk.
Oh yeah.
And like we said it, I think it was 2 episodes ago, is that it was a really important weekend. Was that 2 episodes?
I
What
remember. I don't remember how long ago it
I
was.
think that was. I think that was. I think that was two. I don't think that was last week, but it was really. But now it's just a fun weekend. Like these
Yeah.
games are just fun. Like, they're fun to watch. Um, I think the hockey game tonight. I'm sure it's gonna be packed. I
I
hope.
think yeah. You're saying it's Halloween. I think because it's 7 p.m. and because people already like hockey in general. Even I said a while ago that people still show up to Goggin where we were 3-17.
Yeah,
Late in February, they were still packing Goggin like probably 2/3 capacity, and 7 p.m. on Halloween, people are going to stay at least for the first two periods, and if it's a good game, they'll probably stay for the third.
yeah. I mean, it's 7. It's the game's over by 9:30.
Right.
In terms of going out, it doesn't really impact that at all. And it only helps if we win tonight, because then tomorrow you only get more draw. 7-0 just sounds better. Um, but yeah, I'm not, after this weekend, hopefully, we do sweep them. I'm just I'm just anticipating these standings. I mean, I just cannot get over that Cornell has not played a game, and you have a team that's 6-0. Even Northeastern, they got more votes than us, probably deserved. But like, I don't understand it at all.
Neither
Um,
do I. It's hockey. Hockey's a different beast.
it makes, and then but then you also have, um, it goes a little more off like name value, because Boston College is 2-2-1, which they're Boston College, they're going to be in the playoffs. But but why should they be ahead of Colorado College, which is 5-5-1? Like, it
Yeah.
does. It's more based off whoever's voting on this. I think is more based off of like where they think they'll be at the end. And got to give them like the benefit, like they're giving Boston College the benefit of the doubt. We're putting you at 11, but you're ahead of teams that have won more games. But I don't know. God, it doesn't feel like revenge, but it feels like it feels good that this team is just completely turned it around.
Yeah. And we're hitting our groove at the right time where people actually are going to show up. I'm excited. I think that's probably the best way to close out is that people have, for a while, we've needed people to pack the stands. Not for any particular sport. I think every sport needed attendance to improve. This is the first year where we actually have a real chance to justify why attendance needs to be improved because all our teams are doing incredible. And I think that's going to show out for basketball. Our attendance is going to be significantly better for basketball on both teams this year. I would be surprised if it's not true. Football, we have those midweek games, but we're playing Toledo. Toledo's a good matchup for us. And, it's a Wednesday night. It's going to be November. It's going to be cold.
It's a blackout.
That's right. Yeah, it's I don't know. I
I don't know
think
how. I'll wait and see. I'll comment. I'll comment after I see. Yeah. If people go, I mean, it won't look bad, but time will tell on that one.
I kind of would. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we end on that, and I'll end with one other thing is we don't need to do any like. We shouldn't have to do giveaways to get people to these games, especially for hockey, because of how it speaks for itself. Especially if we're like, I gave credit to my athletics department a couple minutes ago, but if we get nationally ranked, they're gonna run away with it. I'm excited for the stuff that they're gonna put out
Hmm.
if we get ranked, because they're doing all these giveaways, Roger rewards and all that. But if we get national attention, because with getting nationally ranked, you'll get more media people here. I'm assuming, the Midwestern people who cover college sports. If they see Oxford, Ohio, come for a game. But with everything that'll come with getting nationally ranked, I think this athletic department is going to run away with it. And it's only good things for the university.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it. It's been Zach Green.
I'm Kethan Babu.
Love and honor.